Proverbs 19:21. When your plans fail, God's purpose prevails. Have you ever felt as if something inside you was quietly whispering, "Get up, this is not where your story ends"? A soft voice rising in the middle of exhaustion, in the middle of nights where sleep doesn't come, in the middle of battles no one else sees. Sometimes that whisper comes when you're barely holding yourself together, when you're tired of hoping, tired of trying, tired of pretending you're fine. Sometimes it comes in the silence, the kind of silence that feels heavier than any storm, and yet something inside you still breathes, something inside you still stands, something inside you still waits for light. There are moments in life when everything looks frozen. Your plans don't move, your prayers feel unanswered. The path ahead looks foggy, uncertain, almost cold. You wonder if you missed something, if you took a wrong step, if maybe you're not strong enough for what you've been carrying. And while you walk through this inner winter, a strange question echoes in your heart. Where is God when the world around me feels dark? But listen, in the darkest rooms, even the smallest flame becomes impossible to ignore. And right now, in this very moment, that whisper inside you is not your imagination. It is not your mind trying to escape reality. It is heaven calling your spirit back to life. It is the voice that has followed you through every valley, every disappointment, every closed door, saying, "Arise, because your light has come." This light is not the light of circumstances. It is not the light of people approving you, understanding you, supporting you. No, this light is deeper. This light is Him, the one who stood with you even when you thought you were alone, the one who kept you breathing when you had no strength left, the one who saw your tears, the ones you hid out and whispered, "Not yet, but soon." Sometimes God allows the night to last long enough for you to feel how precious the sunrise really is. Sometimes He lets plans collapse so His purpose can stand unshaken. Sometimes He lets you walk through the valley so that when His light touches you, you rise differently. You rise stronger. You rise purified. You rise with clarity. And when you rise, nothing can keep you down again. Right now, breathe. Slowly. Feel the shift. Feel the atmosphere inside your soul change, even if your circumstances haven't changed yet. You are not listening to this by coincidence. Something greater is moving. Something sacred is unfolding. Something invisible is pushing your spirit upward, calling you to stand, calling you to open your eyes, calling you to believe again. Because the truth is this: your light has already come, but you must arise to see it. You cannot stay in the same place and expect a new dawn to find you. You cannot keep feeding your fear and expect peace to rise. You cannot stay buried under yesterday's ashes and expect today's fire to burn. There is a moment, a holy moment, when heaven touches your spirit and says, "Stand now." And that moment is happening now. Let this be the moment when the old breaks, when the heavy chains loosen, when the shadows around your mind begin to fade. Let this be your turning point, the breath before transformation. You may not feel strong, but you are stronger than you think. You may not see the way, but the way is already being prepared for you. You may not feel ready, but God makes you ready. Close your eyes for a second. Feel this light inside you, quiet, warm, steady, growing. The night is losing its grip. The silence is ending. Your purpose is waking. And the voice of God is whispering, "Get up, arise, step into what I have prepared for you." There comes a moment when the weight you've been carrying for so long begins to feel heavier than your own bones. When you look at your life and ask quietly, "How much longer can I hold on?" You don't say it out loud, you don't let anyone hear it, but inside, the battle has been fierce. There are days when you wake up with hope, and days when you wake up with nothing left but a thin thread keeping you connected to tomorrow. And yet, you're still here, still breathing, still searching for a light that feels delayed, distant, almost unreachable. What people don't see is the warfare that happens inside a silent soul. The nights when sleep becomes a stranger, the mornings when your chest feels heavy before you even open your eyes, the moments when your mind whispers, maybe this is it, maybe this is how life will remain, and you fight back tears because deep down you know you were made for more. But the more hasn't shown up yet. There is a kind of darkness that doesn't come from life circumstances, but from exhaustion, from waiting, from not understanding why your prayers take so long to unfold, from feeling like God is quiet during the exact moments when you needed Him to speak. Maybe you've asked, if my light has come, why do I still feel surrounded by shadows? Listen closely, because there is a profound truth hidden in the silence of God. His silence is never absence. His silence is preparation. When God hides, He is not distancing Himself. He is shaping the inner strength needed for the very blessing you've been praying for. He is aligning the unseen. He is orchestrating details you cannot imagine. He is removing what you didn't know was blocking you. He is preparing you to carry something greater, something that requires a deeper, unshakable foundation inside you. Sometimes God lets everything slow down so He can speed up what truly matters. Sometimes He lets doors close so you won't be trapped in places beneath your calling. Sometimes He lets people walk away because their presence would dim the light He is placing over you. And sometimes, and this is the hardest part, He lets your own plans collapse because they were too small for the purpose He wrote for you. This is why Isaiah's call begins with a command: arise. Because destiny does not come to those who stay buried in what broke them. It comes to those who rise even when they don't feel ready, even when they don't see the full path, even when the night hasn't fully ended. So breathe again, deeply. Let the weight fall off your shoulders for a moment. You are not stuck. You are being rebuilt. You are not forgotten. You are being refined. You are not behind. You are being aligned. And perhaps the reason you're listening to this right now is because heaven wants you to know that the pressure you've been feeling isn't punishment, it's positioning. Your spirit is being lifted, your heart is being strengthened, your steps are being redirected, and yes, your light is coming into full clarity. Look at your life with new eyes. What if the waiting wasn't delaying you, but protecting you? What if the silence wasn't God ignoring you, but God preparing something too sacred to rush? What if the discomfort you feel has been the final signs that you are close, closer than ever, to the breakthrough you've been praying for? Let these words sink in, slowly, like dawn touching the edges of a long, cold night. You are emerging. You are rising. You are entering a new season where the shadows lose their authority over your mind. Lift your head, even if it trembles. Straighten your shoulders, even if you feel weak, because the light God placed inside you is beginning to glow, and nothing can extinguish it. Not fear, not failure, not delay, not darkness. Write in the comments, "My healing begins now." There is a moment in every journey with God when the path becomes narrow, when the light seems to dim, and when your own strength feels too small for the weight you're carrying. It's the moment when your faith is tested in ways you never expected, when life pushes you into corners where escape seems impossible. When you look around and all you see are unfinished stories, unresolved battles, unanswered prayers, and yet, inside you, something refuses to die. Something keeps breathing. Something keeps hoping, even if just barely. This something is not human willpower. It is not your personality. It is not your resilience. It is the spark of the divine inside you. The breath God placed in your chest long before the world ever tried to break you. There are seasons when that spark feels small, but small does not mean weak. A single flame can break the power of a cold night. A single whisper from God can silence 1,000 lies. A single touch of His presence can restore what years of pain tried to destroy. So if you feel small, if you feel fragile, if you feel like you're barely holding on, you are not failing. You are not breaking. You are being refined. God is drawing you deeper into Him, not to expose your weakness, but to reveal your true strength, the strength that comes from His presence, not from your effort. Sometimes you ask, why is everything so heavy? Because God is preparing you for a higher place. Of an elevation requires separation. Sometimes you ask, why do I feel alone? Because God removes distractions before He releases revelation. Sometimes you ask, why doesn't anything make sense? Because clarity often comes after surrender, not before it. There are battles in your mind that you never speak about, fears that stretch beyond words, wounds that no one sees. But here's the truth. God sees every detail of the war happening inside you. He sees the courage it takes for you to get out of bed. He sees the strength it takes for you to trust, even when nothing changes. He sees the quiet tears, the hidden exhaustion, the silent prayers whispered in the dark. And here, in this sacred moment, God is bending toward you, closer than breath, closer than thought, closer than the fear trying to rise against you. Listen, there is a shift happening, not outside, but inside. You may not see it yet, but heaven is aligning things you've been praying for. Doors are being prepared, paths are being cleared, burdens are being lifted piece by piece. The silence you feel is not rejection, it is transformation. This is why the command in Isaiah echoes with so much power. Arise. Because rising is not about feeling ready. Rising is about responding to God's voice, even when everything around you tells you to stay down. It's about standing up in the middle of the valley, not after you've escaped it. It's about trusting that God is doing something greater than you can see. So lift your eyes not to the problem, but to the light forming around you, not to the fear, but to the presence that surrounds you, not to your past, but to the dawn breaking over your future. Feel this truth. Let it settle deeply in your chest. Your story is not in the hands of darkness. Your purpose is not in the hands of fear. Your future is not in the hands of circumstance. Your life is in the hands of God, and He never lets go. Take a slow breath. Let the heaviness fall off your shoulders. Let the silence become a holy place. Because in this moment, God is not asking you to understand. He is asking you to arise. Say in the comments, God is with me. There are seasons when life feels like a hallway with no doors, a long stretch of unanswered questions, delayed promises, and silent nights that seem to echo forever. You walk and walk and walk, hoping for a sign, a shift, a breakthrough, something that tells you you're not trapped in the same place. But sometimes all you find is more silence, and that silence can be terrifying, because it forces you to meet your own thoughts. It forces you to confront the shadows that linger in your heart. It forces you to face the feeling that maybe, just maybe, you've lost your way. But listen closely. Not all silence is emptiness. Not all stillness is abandonment. Not all waiting is delay. Sometimes silence is where God speaks the loudest, not through words but through alignment, not through noise but through presence, not through visible miracles but through invisible preparation. You think nothing is happening, but heaven is moving. You think your prayers are hanging in the air, but they are shaking unseen realms. You think the promise is distant, but it is standing at your door, knocking, waiting for the exact second heaven has written for it to erupt into your life. There are things God cannot rush, not because He is slow, but because He is perfect. If he gave you what you asked for too early, it would collapse under the weight of your unhealed places. If he opened the door before your character was strengthened, the blessing would slip through your hands. If he accelerated the promise before your spirit was rooted, the wind of challenges would tear it apart. So God waits, not to frustrate you, but to fortify you. He waits until fear loosens its grip. He waits until your identity is anchored in him, not in the approval of people. He waits until your heart stops chasing what was never meant to stay. He waits until the shadows inside you no longer hold authority over your future. And then, when the night has done its work, when your soul has grown deeper, when your faith has become quieter but stronger, something shifts. A light flickers at the edge of your darkness. A warmth rises in places that used to feel cold. A still, small voice whispers through the cracks of your exhaustion, "Arise, the dawn is breaking." You may not feel it fully yet. You may still sense the remnants of fear. You may still hear the echoes of past disappointments. But something in you is rising, slowly, quietly, steadily, like the first light of morning stretching across a silent horizon. God is not asking you to leap. He is asking you to stand. He is not asking you to understand. He is asking you to trust. He is not asking you to see the whole path. He is asking you to step into the light of the next 5 minutes, the next breath, the next act of faith. Every time you choose to believe again, even while trembling, you are rising. Every time you choose hope over fear, you are rising. Every time you choose to pray when you don't feel anything, you are rising. Every time you choose to forgive, release, surrender, breathe, you are rising. And this rising is not small. It is supernatural. It is the sound of chains loosening. It is the sound of heaven realigning your destiny. It is the sound of purpose awakening from its long sleep. Take a moment. Place your hand over your chest. Feel the soft rhythm of your heartbeat. This is proof that God is not finished. If there is breath, there is purpose. If there is purpose, there is direction. If there is direction, there is light. And right now that light is drawing you forward, gently but with authority. It is breaking the spiritual night around you. It is invading the shadows in your mind. It is lifting you out of the valley of confusion. You are not just surviving. You are transforming. You are not lost. You are being led. You are not forgotten. You are being refined for glory. Type in the comments, "My purpose is awakening." There are moments when life feels like a battlefield, not around you, but inside you. A silent war between who you were, who you are now, and who God is calling you to become. It's a strange place, this in-between season, where nothing feels stable, nothing feels clear, and even your own emotions shift like unpredictable tides. One moment you feel strong, the next a simple thought can shake you. One moment you feel faith rising, the next fear whispers the opposite. And you wonder, why is this so hard? Why do I feel like I'm fighting battles no one sees? What you don't realize is that this inner battle is often the sign that something holy is being formed within you. When God prepares you for a new season, the old season doesn't let go easily. Shadows from the past try to return. Doubts whisper louder. Old fears try to reclaim the places they once lived in. But this isn't failure, it's transition. And transitions are spiritual battlegrounds. Every great rising begins with inner shaking. Every breakthrough begins with resistance. Every new light begins by exposing the darkness that once lived quietly inside you. This is why you've been feeling the pressure. This is why your emotions have been turbulent. This is why you felt stretched, tested, confronted. Heaven is not punishing you. Heaven is preparing you. And preparation cannot happen without purification. God is removing what cannot follow you into the next chapter. He is cutting away what would hold you back. He is breaking the influence of people, patterns, and thoughts, that were never meant to shape your identity. He is strengthening the areas of your heart that once felt fragile. He is teaching your spirit to stand, not by sight, but by faith. Listen, when God says, "Arise," He is not speaking to your circumstances. He is speaking to your spirit. He is awakening something inside you that has slept beneath the weight of fear. He is calling forth the courage that life tried to bury. He is stirring the fire that disappointment tried to extinguish. He is restoring the clarity that confusion tried to steal. There is a version of you, radiant, steady, fearless, that God has been shaping in the shadows. You haven't fully met this version yet, but heaven has. And heaven is calling it forward now. Feel this. The shaking inside you is not a sign that you're falling apart. It's a sign that your foundation is being rebuilt on something unshakable. Your faith is being purified. Your identity is being strengthened. Your purpose is being sharpened. And soon, very soon, you will look back and realize that the battles you fought in secret built the strength you will display in public. God never wastes a battle. God never wastes a tear. God never wastes a breaking moment. Every press, every stretch, every unanswered prayer, every silent night has been forming the spiritual muscles you will need for the glory ahead. Take a moment and breathe, slowly, deeply, because sometimes all God needs is one whisper of surrender from you. And suddenly the atmosphere around your life begins to shift. You are not in the dark. You are in the dawn. You are not drowning. You are being lifted. You are not breaking. You are being rebuilt. Lift your head, even if just a little. Let the light touch the edges of your spirit, because the version of you that God sees, strong, confident, illuminated, is beginning to emerge. Comment with faith, "I am rising with God's strength." There is a moment in every divine journey when the light that once felt distant begins to draw near. You can't fully explain it. Nothing around you may have changed, and yet something inside you has shifted. It's subtle at first, like the faint warmth of a sunrise that hasn't yet broken the horizon, a quiet sense that the heaviness you carried for so long is slowly loosening its grip. A soft awareness that God is closer, nearer, more present than your emotions can measure. This is the sacred moment when God begins to restore your vision. Not your physical sight, your spiritual vision. The ability to see beyond what hurts. The ability to sense what is coming. The ability to feel hope again after a long season of numbness. For so long, the fog around your life felt thick. Your steps felt uncertain. Your thoughts felt scattered. You questioned decisions, questioned timing, questioned yourself. And sometimes in the quiet corners of your heart, you even questioned God. Not because you lacked faith, but because the silence was long, too long, long enough to make you wonder if maybe your prayers were lost in the unseen. But listen closely. In the kingdom of God, nothing is lost. Not a prayer, not a tear, not a whisper spoken in the dark, not a single breath of faith. And now, in this moment, heaven is returning to you what seemed delayed, piece by piece, light by light, clarity by clarity, until the fog that once clouded your path becomes the very atmosphere where God reveals your next step. This is the place where purpose begins to emerge, not loudly, but steadily, like the rising dawn. Not with noise but with presence, not with chaos but with peace. Have you noticed how certain burdens no longer feel as heavy? How certain fears don't have the same authority over your thoughts? How certain voices from the past no longer define who you are? That is the evidence of God's work inside you. That is the proof that your spirit is rising before your circumstances do. Before God changes things around you, He always changes things within you. Because the greater the light He places over your life, the stronger the foundation you need beneath your feet. And that foundation is exactly what he has been building in secret. Think about it. Every disappointment that tried to break you, every delay that stretched your faith, every night that felt too quiet, every battle that no one saw, all of it was shaping a deeper strength in you, a strength you will soon walk in publicly. God is not only calling you to arise, he is preparing you to remain standing once you do. Because this rising is not temporary, it's not emotional, it's not just a moment, it's a calling. And the light that is coming upon you is not a flicker. It is not fragile. It is not unstable. It is the kind of light that exposes lies, breaks chains, restores vision, and announces destiny. Close your eyes for a second. Feel the shift within you. The atmosphere of your spirit is changing. The tiredness is lifting. The confusion is losing power. The fear is dissolving. The night is ending. Breathe in, slowly. This is the breath of someone who is rising into purpose. This is the breath of someone who is stepping into God's timing. This is the breath of someone who is being illuminated from the inside out. You are not the same person who walked into this season. You are stronger. You are wiser. You are spiritually awake. And soon, you will see why the waiting had to be this long. Type in the comments, "My light is rising." There comes a moment in your walk with God when the light inside you grows stronger than the darkness that has been surrounding your mind. It doesn't happen in an instant. It happens quietly, slowly, gently, almost like the way morning light creeps into a room before the sun fully rises. You don't notice it at first, but suddenly you realize you're not the same person you were yesterday. A strength you cannot explain is holding you. A peace that doesn't come from circumstances is covering you. A courage you never had before is beginning to whisper inside your chest. This is the moment when heaven begins to elevate your spirit. Not outwardly, inwardly. Because every true rising starts on the inside, long before it becomes visible on the outside. For so long, fear spoke louder than faith. For so long, confusion overshadowed clarity. For so long, the voice of discouragement echoed in the corners of your heart. But now, something is shifting. Fear is losing its vocabulary. Confusion is losing its grip. Discouragement is losing its authority. Why? Because the light God placed inside you is awakening with power. There is a divine exchange happening inside you right now. Your weakness for his strength, your anxiety for his peace, your questions for his presence, your restlessness for his direction. And as this exchange unfolds, a new awareness rises, the awareness that God has been preparing you not just to survive, but to be victorious, not just to endure the night, but to step fully into the morning he has appointed for you. Think about it. Every tear you cried, he collected. Every battle you fought, he witnessed. Every whisper of prayer, he heard. Every deep breath you took when life felt overwhelming, he was holding you. Now the preparation is turning into revelation. The breaking is turning into strengthening. The waiting is turning into alignment. You may not see the full picture yet, but there is movement in heaven concerning your life. Doors are being positioned. Paths are being revealed. People are being aligned. Destiny is unfolding. And God is saying to you, you are rising into the purpose I prepared for you before you ever felt lost. This rising is not accidental. This rising is not emotional. This rising is not temporary. It is divine. It is intentional. It is prophetic. Feel it. The deepest part of you is waking up. Your spirit is stretching into the light. Your mind is releasing old fears. Your heart is healing from old wounds. Your purpose is calling you forward with authority. And this is just the beginning, because when God commands arise, he is not inviting, he is declaring, he is speaking to your destiny, he is speaking to your future. He is speaking to the version of you that you haven't yet become, but he already sees clearly. So lift your eyes from the ground, Lift your heart from the heaviness. Lift your spirit from the shadows. You are being positioned for elevation, not by chance, but by design. The light God placed over your life is not only coming, it is taking over. Even now, your fears are shrinking, your faith is expanding, your confidence is awakening, your purpose is rising like dawn spreading across the sky. Let this truth settle deep within you. You were created to rise, and nothing, no darkness, no delay, no disappointment, no attack, can stop what God is now igniting inside you. Take one more slow breath. Feel the strength returning. Feel the fire rebuilding. Feel the light rising within you like a holy sunrise. Declare in the comments, I am stepping into God's purpose. There comes a time when the light God has been building inside you begins to break through every layer of resistance around your life. It starts quietly, like a trembling inside the soul, a gentle shift in the atmosphere, a subtle knowing that something holy is happening. You may not see it yet in your circumstances, but your spirit feels it, the way the earth feels the vibration before dawn breaks, the way the wind changes direction before a new season begins. This is the moment when God begins to turn the page, not with noise, not with dramatic signs, but with a divine certainty that whispers deep into your being, what held you before will not hold you now. Look at how far you've come, not in accomplishments, not in victories, but in transformation. You have walked through valleys that once terrified you, and you survived. You faced storms that tried to drown your hope, and you are still standing. You endured nights where your soul felt exhausted, and yet your faith remains. Do you see it? The very places that tried to break you became the places where you grew stronger. The very tears you cried watered the seeds of purpose within you. The very silence you feared became the place where God rebuilt your voice, and now, heaven is positioning you for a new season of elevation. The darkness that once surrounded you is losing its power. The confusion that once clouded your mind is dispersing. The heaviness that once pressed on your chest is lifting, because God is shifting your spiritual altitude. You are rising above the level of old battles. You are rising above the lies the enemy whispered to your mind. You are rising above the patterns that used to trap you. You are rising above the fears that once held you prisoner. Feel this truth. You are not climbing by your own strength. You are being lifted. You are being carried. You are being propelled by the very light that Isaiah 61 promised, a light that does not fade, does not weaken, does not depend on circumstances. This light is awakening your identity, your true identity, not the one shaped by pain, not the one shaped by mistakes, not the one shaped by disappointment, but the one shaped by God, the one that existed before the wounds, the one that existed before the fear, the one that existed before the brokenness. You are returning to who you were meant to be, a child of light, a carrier of purpose, a bearer of divine strength, a reflection of God's presence in a world that desperately needs hope. And understand this, when God says, arise, He is not merely calling you out of darkness, He is calling you into destiny. This rising is not just about healing, it is about assignment, it is about mission, it is about stepping into the life heaven designed uniquely for you. There is something God has placed inside you that only you can carry. Something that your battles prepared you for, something that your nights refined, something that your tears purified. You are stepping into that now. You are stepping into clarity. You are stepping into alignment. You are stepping into divine acceleration. Take a breath. Feel the holy shift. Feel the atmosphere around your spirit breaking open like the sky before dawn. Feel the way God's presence wraps around you. Steady, warm, and powerful. This is not your imagination. This is not emotion. This is transformation. This is light overtaking darkness. This is purpose overtaking fear. This is God overtaking every part of your story. Declare with faith in the comments, I rise in God's light. There is a moment when the light of God no longer just surrounds you. It begins to come through you. A moment when your spirit reaches a level of awareness you never had before. A moment when you suddenly realize that the battles which once terrified you no longer control you. A moment when the fear that used to paralyze you now trembles at the sound of your rising. This is the moment when heaven shifts from preparation to manifestation, a moment when God begins to reveal what He has been building inside the silence, inside the waiting, inside the tears you never spoke about. You've spent so many nights trying to understand the why. Why the delay? Why the breaking? Why the confusion? Why the loneliness? Why the closed doors? Why the long, cold seasons where it felt like nothing was moving? But hear this, and let it sink deeply. Nothing in your journey was wasted. Not one battle, not one tear, not one unanswered prayer, not one lonely night. Everything was forming a foundation inside you for the light that is now rising. Because God never prepares a vessel without the intention of filling it. He never refines someone without an appointed purpose. He never calls someone to arise without a destiny waiting on the other side. Feel this. There is a strength in you now that you didn't have before, a maturity you didn't have before, a clarity you didn't have before, a spiritual authority that can only come from walking through the night and surviving it. You're not fragile anymore. You're not confused in the same way. You're not who pain tried to convince you were. You are someone who endured a season that would have broken others, and yet here you are, rising. This rising is not emotional. It is supernatural. This rising is not temporary. It is eternal. This rising is not symbolic. It is prophetic. And now, God begins to speak not only to your heart, but to your future. He begins to align people, opportunities, provisions, and paths in ways you never anticipated. What once felt distant begins to feel near. What once felt impossible begins to feel natural. What once felt delayed begins to accelerate. Listen to this truth. When God calls light to shine on you, no darkness can argue. When God calls your purpose forth, no obstacle can silence it. When God commands you to arise, nothing, not fear, not failure, not delay, not the enemy, can keep you down. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel this shift in your spirit, a breaking, a releasing, an awakening. A holy fire that was dormant is now being stirred. Your identity is changing. Your atmosphere is changing. Your spiritual weight is changing. Your sensitivity to God is increasing. Your hunger for His presence is rising. Your capacity to carry purpose is expanding. And all of this is preparing you for what comes next. The visible breakthrough. The moment when what God has done internally begins to manifest externally. The moment when what you felt in your spirit becomes what you see with your eyes. You are closer than you've ever been. Closer to the breakthrough. Closer to the restoration. Closer to the clarity. Closer to the promise. Closer to the light that God declared over your life long before the battle ever started. Stand in this truth. You are rising, not by chance, not by emotion, not by your own strength. You are rising because heaven has spoken over you. And the word God speaks cannot return empty. Let your heart believe again. Let your spirit breathe again. Let the light take over every corner of your being. Because this is your hour of awakening. This is your hour of emergence. This is your hour of elevation. Declare boldly in the comments, I arise into God's purpose. There comes a moment in every divine journey when everything inside you becomes still, not the stillness of fear, not the stillness of emptiness, but the stillness of arrival, a sacred silence that whispers, You made it through what was meant to break you, and now you stand on the edge of what was always promised. This is where you are now. Not behind, not forgotten, not delayed. You are standing at the threshold of revelation, at the doorway where purpose begins to unfold in ways only God could design. Everything you walked through, every night, every tear, every unanswered question, every moment where you felt lost, every time your strength failed, all of it was leading here, to this awakening, to this light, to this rising. Look back for a moment, not to grieve over what happened, but to recognize who you became. You are not the person who entered the valley. You are not the person who cried in the silence. You are not the person who questioned your worth, your future, your calling. You are someone refined, strengthened, purified, awakened. The fire did not destroy you. It shaped you. The night did not consume you. It prepared you. The waiting did not break you. It rooted you. And now God is saying with a voice that echoes through your entire being, "Arise, for your light has come." Feel that, not with your emotions, but with your spirit. The light over your life is not borrowed. It is not fragile. It is not temporary. It is not dependent on circumstances or people. It is the light of God, the light of purpose, identity, calling, destiny. This light will lead you into rooms you once felt unworthy of. It will open doors you never imagined would be yours. It will bring clarity where confusion once ruled. It will bring peace where anxiety once lived. It will bring strength where weakness once threatened to drown you. And this rising, this light, this awakening, it is not the end of your story. It is the beginning, the true beginning. The version of you God designed before the battles, before the disappointments, before the heartbreak. You are returning to the original blueprint of heaven for your life. Listen, what comes next is not small. It is not ordinary. It is not random. God is positioning you for divine assignments, moments where your voice will matter, where your presence will carry weight, where your faith will shift atmospheres. But before you step into that, let this truth anchor you. You rise because God has risen over you. You shine because His glory rests upon you. You move forward because heaven is guiding your steps. You walk in purpose because purpose now burns inside you like holy fire. Close your eyes. Breathe slowly. Feel the presence of God settle on you like the warmth of a sunrise touching the face of a new world. Feel the peace. Feel the certainty. Feel the shift. This is not imagination. This is encounter. This is alignment. This is destiny touching your spirit. You are stepping into a season where the darkness will no longer intimidate you, because you carry a light far greater than anything that stands against you. You are stepping into a season where what once confused you will now make sense. You are stepping into a season where what once resisted you will now release. You are stepping into a season where your life becomes a testimony of God's faithfulness. Stand tall, lift your heart, lift your voice, lift your spirit. You are rising, and nothing can stop what God has begun. Declare in the comments with conviction, "I arise in God's glory." This is your dawn, this is your moment, this is your rising. This is not the end, it's the beginning of something new. Subscribe and activate the bell, because the next word may change everything.